The Federal Reserve made another major move to slow inflation. This afternoon, Chairman Jerome Powell and the Fed board raised a key rate 3/4 of a percentage point, the fifth hike this year. The move comes as prices for essentials continue to rise. Electricity bills are up 16% compared to a year ago. Housing 6% higher, and prices at the grocery store continuing to soar.
High inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials.
The Fed's latest move is designed to slow down the economy and ease rising prices, but it's also pushing up loan costs. A new survey from Bankrate found the average credit card interest rate is more than 18%. That's an all-time high. And even though the Fed doesn't directly set fixed mortgage rates, they continue to soar. A 30-year mortgage rate is just over 6%, more than double from a year ago. And the National Transportation Safety Board wants all new vehicles in the country to come equipped with blood alcohol monitoring systems. The technology can stop an intoxicated person from getting behind the wheel. If enacted, the recommendation could lower the number of alcohol-related crashes, which are among the biggest causes of highway deaths. Up next, some good as well as concerning news regarding substance abuse among those 10 to 19 years of age.
Download